Good morning. Today we're going to talk about how to become wealthy. Before I even start to talk about how to become wealthy, do me a favor, smash that like button, hit subscribe. I really appreciate the help. That's how YouTube's analytics work, and it helps to get my content out there. So I really appreciate you guys pitching in and doing that. The other thing is, I'm going to put a couple links in the description of how to open an account at Sofi. If you open an account and put $10 in it, you get an extra $25 for doing that. And at least me, who doesn't like free money? The other thing is, it gives a little gift to an account that I opened for my son. He's 12 years old. He gets super excited about that. And I really appreciate the kindness of you guys chipping in and helping out and doing those types of things. So, when we talk about being wealthy, the first thing I want to do is define what being wealthy is. I think I have a different definition than most people. My definition of being wealthy is living below your means. If you're in the ability to save a little bit of money and put some away, if you have a broken air conditioner or something else, I consider that wealthy, because to me, it's the lack of stress of freaking out when you have a new bill that you're worried about because you're living paycheck to paycheck. So it doesn't matter to me if you make 30,000 a year, 50,000 a year, or 500,000 a year. It really doesn't. Wealthy is just a state of mind and being in the position of living freely and not stressing about tomorrow's bills. So I guess the next question is, how do we get there? And basically that's through budgeting. Figure out how much you make, what your expenses are, and make sure that you're always putting a little bit away. Now, I know we've had some big inflation, and I know there's a lot of answers of like, I barely pay my rent and I can barely keep up. But do a real internal look of what that means and what you do. Do you guys go out to lunch? Do you go to dinner? Do you buy Starbucks? These are all things that people don't realize how expensive it is. I love coffee, but I don't go to Starbucks or other coffee places. I actually have an espresso machine, and as I use it, I empty out the pods, I fill them up with new coffee grinds. I buy these covers that you get on Amazon for 10 cents a piece, and my coffee costs me about 20, 30 cents a cup. I get it. Call me cheap, call me whatever you want to call me, but I'm not about to spend $4 or $5, or even some of those things go 6 or 7 to get a coffee at some fancy coffee shop. And a lot of times it's just people's comfort with themselves. What car do you drive? How much is your car payment? Well, both of our cars, we don't owe anything on our cars, and we have no car payment. And it's not that I'm so rich that I just go out and bought cars and paid cash. We had loans on them at one point, but they were low interest rate. Well, my car is a 2003 and my wife's is a 2014, so we've long since paid them off. But in my mind, they're wonderful cars. I have a nice 2003 Mercedes convertible that I get lots of compliments on, and my wife has a nice car as well. And at the same time, we have no payments on them, and we have no rush to go get new ones because they're in great condition and they run real well. Our attitude is we love having no payment. We're not super concerned about turning heads and what people think of our automobiles. And it goes the same with everything else. We live a really nice life, but we're tight here and there, and I think that helps us get us in the position that we've gotten. And I would hope that that encourages you guys to do the same. And then from there, invest, invest, invest. And I don't care what you invest in. I love stocks, I love real estate. Everybody's scared of the market. Well, I say be greedy when people are fearful and be fearful when people are greedy. I'm not scared of the housing market. I think we could have a correction, but I don't see this big gloom and doom that a lot of the people do. And same with the stock market. I think if you buy good quality companies, now you have to do your own research. I'm going to mention some ones I like, but by all means, don't follow me. You guys do your own research and decide what you like. But if you buy good quality companies that earn good money, like I love Target right now, it's fallen from over $200 share to 110, and I feel like that's on sale. Pfizer's done the same thing. I was looking at Best Buy the same way yesterday. And I have a mix of things like Amazon and Google and Facebook, but then I also have the things that give me dividends. I even have JEPI and another one, PFFA, that pay some higher dividends. And I recently picked up this one, NextEra Energy Partners. They came out with news that made the stock collapse. It fell from like 50 to 20, and it had already fallen from 80 to 50. Well, I worry when I see a stock fall that far, but to be perfectly honest, they're paying a 15% dividend when I was picking it up. And when they had their most recent earnings, they confirmed that the dividend is still safe. They actually raised it a tiny bit, which is what I was hoping for. And to me, if I can pick up a bunch of dividend stocks that help, supplement my income, I slowly try to put into those and build them up where that can pay more and more of my bills. And the longer you do that and the longer you allow these things to grow, it just creates the wealth that we're talking about. That being said, living below your means is going to be what I consider wealthy. Don't worry about becoming a millionaire overnight or anything else. Just do your best to save and put away. And if you want advice on stocks and things like that, make comments in the comment box. I love to talk about that stuff. What I do on my weekends that people think it's so crazy, I look at the stock market and I go through different stocks that I enjoy and I look at their dividend yields and their earnings and their things like that because it's what I enjoy and it's what I find fascinating. The other thing is invest in the things you know about. Whatever it is is valuable, it tends to go up over time. Just trust that. The baseball cards, artwork, wine. I don't know a lot about a lot of these things, but I also recognize that there's investment opportunity in all of it. I mean, the kids are investing in sneakers. I can't believe what the sneaker market has done over the years. And if there's a market you know about that continues to go up in value, by all means. That's why I say you have to trust yourselves and do your own research. All of these things are just fine, and not everybody knows these niches of things that could go up. So, what I suggest is live below your means and put away, and your money will continue to grow and you'll become a millionaire. Don't worry about getting the nicest purse or the best clothes. I mean, my God, I forgive me, I'm like a fashion idiot. I don't wear nice stuff, and I try to buy what's on sale. Like, really, when something that's fashionable goes on sale for a big, deep discount, I'll pick up a few of them, even if it's the same exact shirt. I like these Tommy Bahama shirts, but they sell them for $200 a piece if they're not on sale. Well, one year they went on sale for like $25 a piece. I picked up 6 or 8 of them. Call me cheap, call me frugal, whatever you want to call me. I like the shirt, but I'm not about to spend $200 a shirt. And it blows my mind how many people are willing to do that stuff. You also have to get out of your mind the get rich quick stuff, because getting rich quick is often the way you get poor quick. Unfortunately, the schemes and the best deals and whatever else that your neighbor, you're this one or you're that one advises you on is typically the thing that doesn't work out. Now, again, do your own research. I'm not telling you not to do it. I'm not telling you when to get in markets, when to get out. I'm just suggesting that you save and continue to save so that by the time you get to retirement, hopefully you're not relying on Social Security and things like that. Now, maybe you're in a fortunate position that you get a pension and there's plenty of money to live on, and that's wonderful. But not all of us are in that position. I've always worked for myself, so I can't rely on those things. I might get Social Security, but I might not even get much of that. So I have to make sure that I put away, whether it's that I invest in dividend stocks or treasuries or property that I rent out. Somewhere I need to generate some income so my wife and my son and I can continue to live without stressing out as I get too old to work. I'm 51 years old. Those of you who watch the channel, I'm guessing you watch because you're curious about investing and saving and growing some wealth. Well, you have to think of these things and you have to have a timeline. You have to be reasonable with your investments and your age and what your goals are and stick to that plan. I mean, sticking to the plan is the most important. I tend to stay away from the exchange traded funds. I don't want to buy the S&P 500. I want to pick the companies I think are the best. Now, if you guys think the best way to do it is to buy the exchange traded funds, by all means, go ahead and do that. The only thing I'd say to be careful about is if you're buying an S&P fund and this one and that one, make sure they're not really overlapping with a bunch of the same companies, because you may not be as well diversified as you expect. And if Apple is the largest company in the S&P and it's also the largest company in this fund and the largest in that one, it may turn out that all of a sudden you have 10, 12% of Apple without even realizing it, or whatever stock it is. So anyway, again, before I forget, do me a favor, thumbs up, like, subscribe, make some comments. I love when you guys make comments. I mean, most of the time you disagree with me, which is cool by me too. I'm cool with that. So enjoy your day, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.